Hello everyone, in this lesson we are going to start creating our course project. As I mentioned, in this course we are going to create a web app to convert between different cryptocoins. When the client accesses the app, the server should inform it through the browser the conversion rate. So the first thing we are going to do is downloading the cryptocoin data and creating an HTTP server to send it back to the client. In order to download the cryptocoin data, we are going to use the request package. So let's add it to our project. First, we need to initialize the node package manager. So here I have a terminal open in the folder of my project. So you should create a folder for your project and open a terminal in this folder as well. And then I'm going to run npm init. This will create the package file for our project so that we can install third-party packages. I'm going to leave the options here in the default values, except for the package name, which will be cryptocoin conversion. Okay, now let's install the request package, which is the package we're going to use to download the data. And let's save it in our package file. We can check that the package has been installed by looking into the package.json file. So here, as you can see, we have the request dependency. After installing the package, we can include it in our code. So I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to add the request package. So let's require the request package and let's save it as index.js. And then with the request package, we can now load the data by calling the request function. So we call request. The first parameter here is the URL we are requesting. And we are going to download the cryptocoin data from this page. So this CoinMarketCap API. So here we have a new example URL to download data. And I'm going to copy this one here and paste it here. The second parameter of the request function is the callback function it should call when the data is requested. So let's add one here. The first parameter of this function is the error code, if any. Then we have the request response and the response body. And inside this function, we are going to initially check if there is any error, and if so, we are going to throw the error. Otherwise, we are going to save the body in a coin data variable. Also, we need to define this variable here. So let's start it as undefined, and here we save the body inside the coin data variable. Now let's create an HTTP server to send this data back to the client browser. First, we need to include the HTTP package, as we did with the request package. So here, let's add the HTTP package by requiring it. The HTTP package is already installed with Node, so we don't need to install it for our project. And after including it, we can create an HTTP server in any port. For example, I'm going to create it in the port 8080. So let's call create server and listen on the port 8080. Here in the create server function, we need to define the callback, which will be called when the server is accessed. So let's add a function here. The two parameters of the function are the request and the response. So request and response. The response is the one which will be sent by the server back to the client. And for now, we are only interested in the response. First, we need to write the response header. So let's write the header. The first parameter in the write head function is the code, response code, which will be 200. And the second one, we are going to define the content of the response. In our case, the content will be a plain text. Now we need to set the response data. We can only send the coin data back if it has already been retrieved. So first, let's check if there is some coin data. If so, we are simply going to send it back. If not, we are going to send a message like no data to tell the client that we are still downloading the data. There's an extra bracket here, and now we can test it. So let's open the terminal again, and let's run node index.js. There's an error here because we have to close the bracket here. Now let's open the server, the browser. Here it is printing the coin data. For example, here we have the Bitcoin, here we have Ethereum, Ripple, and other crypto coins. So it's working. However, there are some concepts here in our code that may not be clear yet to you. For example, here I'm using those const and let keywords. Also, I'm using callback functions that you maybe you're not familiar yet. Those are important things that you need to understand. So in the next 2 lessons, I'm going to explain those concepts.